Information could be good or bad, true or false, even understated or misleading. But facts, they say, are bold, true, and crystal clear. They light the way to a safer space. Welcome to the FactSpace, your weekly mission to master media literacy and seize the power of truth. Join us this and every Thursday at 4:30 p.m. on Radio Universe for the FactSpace. And always remember, facts matter.
You know how we do it on Thursday evenings. Welcome to the Fact Space on Radio Universe 105.7 FM. My name is Rabiu Al-Hassan, and today we plan on having an enlightening conversation about disinformation and how social media users can tell when they are being misled online. With about 70% internet penetration rate in Ghana, there are more than 24 million of us connected to the World Wide Web. About 8 million Ghanaians are active social media users. If the 2024 report by the Africa Center for Strategic Studies is anything to go by, and I'm referring to the Mapping a Surge of Disinformation in Africa report, disinformation campaigns seeking to manipulate African information systems have surged nearly fourfold since 2022, triggering destabilizing and anti-democratic consequences. Also, according to the Global Risk Report by the World Economic Forum, misinformation and disinformation remain top short-term risk for the second consecutive year globally. So my colleague Nusrat Issa hits the streets of Accra to gauge the level of awareness among the public when it comes to disinformation campaigns and the potential to manipulate public opinion. Take a listen.
Information is sent to the general public with the general notion of misleading them and sometimes to defame them.
Disinformation is the sharing of information which is false with the intention of hurting or harming people.
And have you ever come across a disinformation campaign?
Yes.
And how are you able to tell if you are being misled by information?
A lot of ways, but sometimes you check the source, the writer, you try to check from other places if they are also reporting the same thing. That's how you get it.
I have seen some. So the ones that I've seen, they normally come in the form of links. So they can say that Baumia is giving out free laptops. All you have to do is register. And after registering, you get to know that and then after I have tapped on it, I realize, this is false. You get it? Yeah.
So aside those ones, how are you able to tell if you are being misled or deceived?
Okay, so regarding the links I just spoke to you about, so I either look at the source of the information and then I also go on to search it on Google to see if indeed Dr. Mahamudu Baumia is really giving out free laptops. And then if it's related to news, I compare it with some credible media houses.
Okay, so I'm one person who is always glued to the media, and I've got some stations, some bloggers that when they blog, I don't even need to go and check. Though I check, but I know that it's coming from a credible source. But there are some bloggers that have records of, disinforming and misinforming people. So such persons, when they blog, have to go and recheck to make sure that what the person is saying is true. But then there are some bloggers that always misinform people. So that's when they blog, I'll know that, no, this is a disinformation. Yeah.
That was Nusrat Issa having a conversation with a cross-section of the public about disinformation and whether they can tell when they are being misled online through disinformation campaigns. Ghana's Speaker of Parliament, Alban Kingsford Sumana Bagbin, has also expressed some concerns about the disruptive impact of disinformation recently while speaking at the 11th Biennial Conference of the Commonwealth Hansard Editors Association in Accra.
This is not just a technological world. We are dealing with now high technology, not just technology, very high technology. Every day you read a lot of material. The percentage that is fake news or disinformation or misinformation is so great with what is happening. Not just AI, but all the software that has been developed by great minds, just for advancement of society, but also is leading to the destruction of what the Creator put in place. As I speak today, somebody can just take my picture as I stand before you and then put in the media and change these things I'm communicating to you and use a different language. And how my mouth is opening and closing, they will merge in such a way that anybody listening will say this is what the speaker said at this conference. It's a very serious threat.
So that was Ghana's Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin. Online disinformation tactics involve a range of methods used to spread false or misleading information with the intention to deceive. These tactics include presenting real facts out of context, creating entirely fabricated stories using manipulated media like deepfakes, and employing bots and trolls to amplify narratives. Now let's come into the studio for a conversation with Alpha Shaban, who is editor in the Ghana Facts newsroom. Sometime this year, President John Mahama had his X, or formerly known as Twitter, account hacked. The hackers deployed a sophisticated disinformation campaign, misrepresenting comments by the president and successfully tricking mainstream media platforms to publish stories promoting a crypto product. Shaban is in studio to help us unpack the tactics, techniques, and procedures used by these bad actors. First, Shaban, when did it come to the attention of the newsroom that the president's account has been hacked, and what did you do?
Okay, so essentially, middle of March, and you find the president's X account there's a video, and then there's a caption on the video, and what the caption is saying and what the video is also portraying are two different things. Essentially, when we saw that, and we also realized that that video was actually recorded in February. This was middle March, but the video was in early February. So then we were wondering why the president would post a video of an event he has already attended with a certain caption. Now, the caption was more intriguing because it was promoting a crypto platform. And we know the current BOG regulations around crypto. So we were wondering how this is. So the narrative initially was by people that, okay, the president has put a fit in for pro-crypto position. So we were wondering, and that is where we felt that there was something amiss. So we started working the lines to know who had done what, who has said what, whether the president had actually promoted the platform. That was when we came to.
But even before you could say Jack, we saw mainstream media platforms produce stories out of what had been posted online. So with that, how could you make sense? Because they were mainstreaming it, they were giving it credibility. So how could you tell that this was out of the ordinary?
So that was actually that was another trigger for us, because initially we found that there was a disconnect. Crypto on a president's platform, the president was speaking in February, but this was March, middle March, 15th of March actually. And then they were playing that video with that handle. So the media for us simply was that they feel that everything on the president's platform is credible. So they did not run any checks. They just went ahead and then published. So that was where the media got complicit in all of this, if I may say.
More so if it's coming from the verified Twitter handle of the president.
Yes, exactly so. And for us, again, no other state agency had retweeted it, or no other official of government had interacted with the tweet. So we were wondering, because ordinarily you find that one spokesperson or the other would retweet it, but there was nothing of the sort. Again, one other thing that made the darkness even loom large on us was that there was no reaction from the presidency, even at a time when one of the media houses had published that the account seemed to have been hacked. 24 hours later, no response. Close to 48 hours before the first response came via the government communications minister, who confirmed that the account has been compromised and that it wasn't in the hands of government. Meanwhile, within that 48 hours, a second post had been made. And this was another tactic. Instead of posting maybe separately, they rather quoted the initial tweets that they had put up, the hackers, and then they posted the second tweet. This time with more information about the said platform. It was Solana. In this case, solanaafrica.com. So they were promoting beyond just the name of the product. This time around, they were promoting a platform that had been built. And there was a lot about.
Yeah. Tell us about the platform, because for the ordinary man on the street or for any ordinary social media user, if you see a platform that seems to have a verified handle or is being endorsed by a president of the country, and you go further to probe and you click on a link and it opens up and you see a website, a well put together website, then it's on the face of it, you would think it is credible. So from going through the website, what did you find?
So this is open source. There's a platform, Whois, which allows you to know who actually created the website, when it was created, when it was updated, when it is going to expire. And then it also tells you who actually are the people behind it. So then when we dug into that, we realized that the website was created a day after the account was hacked and the initial post was put on it. So 15th, and then you find this place, 16th, they had created the website. Now, the website also had a lot of red flags. That is where we realized that actually the account was in the hands of people who were in to do some bad stuff on their own. Because, for instance, you find that the president's picture is there, and then the Bank of Ghana governor, the former Bank of Ghana governor's image is there, and he has a different designation. It's called Adansi Chief, and that's not his designation. And he had actually been replaced a month earlier with the current governor. So that was a red flag. And then the other thing was that a former deputy finance minister, who is deceased actually, John Kume's image was also there as a member of the Solana Africa board. And that for us was a red flag. So we dug further into that, and then we realized that the link that they were actually putting out was not a credible link. They actually just put it together just so that they would give themselves some credibility. And for all those people who interacted with it, you realize that there's the original Solana crypto platform in the United States. This was just Solana Africa, almost like building on the name of the real Solana company to also put out whatever they wanted to do. So that was actually how it played out. It took the next 48 hours before government responded, and then the Cybersecurity Authority also issued a statement confirming that this had happened. Hours after the Cybersecurity Authority's post, the president's account was, I think, retrieved. So the president made a post saying that he's in charge of the account now and everything has been solved with the help of Meta and other partners.
My final question to you, for any ordinary person using social media, how do you protect yourself from getting hacked? We know of two-step authentication, but how do you protect yourself from either being swayed by a disinformation campaign or even being hacked?
Okay, so like you rightly said, the two-step authenticator is absolutely important. And then whenever you find a link, you are skeptical about it, don't click it. At all costs, don't click it. If you are tech savvy enough, use a different platform, the other side of it. Don't use the real browser, because when your browser becomes compromised, that is where they can actually take your data and then use your platform to do things that you don't expect anybody to use to do.
Thank you very much, Alpha Shaban, editor in the Ghana Facts newsroom, helping us unpack a clear example of a disinformation campaign which ended up with the president's X account being compromised. You can find details of the story on the Ghana Fact platform, which is www.ghanafact.com. You are live on Radio Universe 105.7 FM, and this is the FactSpace, a program designed to help you understand media information literacy and also provide you some tidbits of information that would help you unpack when issues relating to either misinformation or disinformation pop up on your timeline. Now, to the big stories of the week. Ghana is still recovering from the helicopter crash that claimed 8 lives sometime last week. The Ghana Fact Newsroom continues to flag false claims and misleading multimedia content being connected to the accident. Also, did the NDC promise cocoa farmers 70% of producer price of cocoa in their 2024 manifesto? And did the NPP contract a Ukrainian PR company, Brandcom, to conduct a social media smear campaign against President Mahama? I'm joined in studio again by Gifty Tracy Aminu and Gifty Danso to help us understand the reports that have been published so far. So Gifty and Gifty, welcome to the studios.
Thank you, Rabiu.
So I would want to first know, what more have you done in relation to tackling misinformation and disinformation around the accidents that happened last week?
Okay, as we know, we are still in the a week of mourning, and it's been more than 7 days since the incident happened, but people wouldn't stop talking about it and trying to share images or videos to portray what had happened at the incident, at the scene. And so we found one video allegedly showing how the helicopter crashed. And so we saw it. We saw it as very. At first, we thought it was even AI from the beginning. How everything ran up and crashed in the air. And so we took note of it, and then we investigated it, and we found out that it was an incident that happened in Colombia, March 2023. A helicopter crash in that country, so in the Choco province of that country. And so that's one bit of the story we did this week to debunk the misinformation surrounding it.
Well, what tools did you use to be able to verify where the incident happened?
So for the Colombia video, 2 tools. We used InVid verification tool, and then we used Google reverse image search.
Okay, and these are tools, I think, for our listeners. You can go on to the FactSpace.org platform, which is a website, and I think there's a section where you can get some insights in relation to how to use these tools. So can we talk about the second story you worked on?
The second story was a video purportedly showing the late Honorable Mutala's wife making profound statements about the husband when he was alive. Our investigation shows that the woman identified herself as a friend to the late MP and not the wife of the MP.
Yeah, and Rabi, to add to what Gifty is saying, what we found a bit odd about this video is that both widows have not even come out to say anything. So when you see a video online saying that one of the widows has spoken, it felt a bit odd for us. So that was why we also went into this fact check. Okay, so, and then also another big story that we worked on during the week was from the CocoaBot CEO, Dr. Randy Abe. He made a claim while on media interviews that the NDC had promised to give farmers 70% of the cocoa producer price. He said they made this promise in their manifesto. So we went through the manifesto, the 2024 manifesto of the NDC, and we did not find any percentage or any figure that the party had promised farmers, even though cocoa producer price was mentioned generally in the manifesto. We did not find any percentage mentioned to be given to farmers.
Yeah, and then I think on that note, we move on to the bigger story again. Sometime last week, we found a story from All Africa, which is trending on social media to claim that the new patriotic party, now opposition, in the lead up to the 2024 election, had contracted a Ukrainian PR firm, Brandcom, to engage in smear campaign activities against the now president, John Dramani Mahama. It was a big story that was virally shared on all social media platforms, and so we followed up with the company, which is Brandcom. We reached out through LinkedIn to their MD to find out if they've actually had a contract with the NPP last year to engage in some sort of activities. The response shows that there was nothing like that there was no connection between the Brandcom company and then the NPP. And that follows the debunk from the NPP as well. Prior to that, the NPP had come out to deny any allegation or any connection with Brandcom or engaging any international firm to run their campaigns for them on social media. Yeah, and so that is one big story we published actually today. So you can go onto our platform or our social media platforms. That's on X, Ghana_facts. That's our name on X, and then you have that story to read.
Sure, but I also remember on the day of election, a report was published as part of the Ghana Fact-Checking Coalition that sought to alert the public, users of particularly X, that there was some sort of a coordinated campaign on X to smear the president. So does this revelation in any way negate the report that was published earlier?
Not at all, Rabiu. Not at all. I think even before the publication on December 7th, we had monitored for a very long time how social media users, or they look like coordinated group of people on social media, especially X, we keep sharing similar messages, similar images from that looks like a coordinated effort or a network of people that had come across one typical information that looks or that suits whatever their campaign messages. And so we've seen a lot of this, and most of these messages targeted the president now, and we can't come into conclusion that this has a relationship to do with Brandcom, but we can say that before, during, and after the election, there were some sort of coordinated campaigns on social media.
Sure. Thank you very much, Gifty, Tracy Aminu, and Gifty Danso for coming through to help us with the big stories of the week. So that would be it for today's program, The Fact Space on Radio Universe 105.7 FM. My name is Rabiu Al Hassan. You can get a replay of the program via our podcast channels on AfriPorts and Spotify, or across our social media handles. Tune in this and every Thursday from 4:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. 30 minutes of insights and discussions on media information literacy.